ought to have you hold this thing so it won't start vibrating. We get addicted to these phones, and when this thing starts vibrating. Oh, there you all are. Come on up here. Hey, there you are. Barbie, look, in that traffic, I know what it's like. Who else? Come on up here, Deidre Fontaine. And slide one more, so I put Fontaine up here as well. Do I open? Do I open? I was going to tell my staff, you know what Congresswoman Lizzie Fletcher does? She puts a little thing on the deal, and it's right there. So let's do that next time, because I forget. Hey, thank you all for coming, and I'm sure you can pick it up. I know we got a tight schedule. I'm Rodney Ellis, and I appreciate everyone being here today. In particular, I appreciate the folks from Pure Justice for being here. And you are in Finnegan Park. This is the Yet Center. When the Super Bowl was here one year, Commissioner Briones, they made a commitment and they funded this years ago to build it, and we kept it, Frank Lee, we kept it going ever since. So thank you all for being here. Today we're here to share an exciting new vision for Harris County. Harris County is a place of great promise, yet despite our region's remarkable economic growth, many families face near insurmountable odds of breaking out of a vicious cycle of generational poverty. Almost half of Harris County's residents cannot afford a $400 emergency. 1 in 5 children grows up in poverty. Today, we are announcing Harris Prospers, a vision to lift thousands of families out of the cycle of poverty by investing in housing, health, and jobs. The plan, Harris Prospers, aims to give Harris County families a fighting shot at the American dream. We have 2 goals: creating paths to good jobs and fair opportunity, and ensuring families have the basic building blocks to thrive. I'll talk a bit about our efforts to provide those basic building blocks, and then we'll have Commissioner Briones discuss our work on the economic opportunity front. I want to say that I appreciate Commissioner Briones coming here in Precinct 1. Staff, the next event we do, we need to make sure we go out to her precinct. I want to be fair, and I know she has a budget meeting, so I'm going to apologize for her when she has to tip out because she's having her budget meeting, and I showed up at mine 3 minutes late, and the people were rolling their eyes at me, and it is 110 degrees out there, so she has a tip out afterwards. Understand why. Economic stability. Harris County is rolling out Uplift Harris, a $20.5 million guaranteed income pilot program to provide families struggling to make ends meet with an income floor, the stable ground they need to rise above poverty, tear down barriers, and build a better life. I mentioned when we passed this at Commissioner's Court that Martin Luther King, in the last 2 years of his life, advocated for a guaranteed income program. And many economists from the much more conservative Chicago School of Economics, like Milton Friedman, were also advocating for the same thing. A second area, safe and affordable homes. Everyone deserves a safe and stable place to call home in Harris County. To address our region's housing crisis, we're investing $200 million to increase access to safe, stable, and affordable homes, protect tenants, encourage home ownership, reduce homelessness, and help people stay in their homes through eviction defense and mortgage relief. Child care and education. I appreciate Judge Hidalgo's staff being here. The judge has led in that area. We're very proud of her for doing that. Harris County is investing in our youth like never before to ensure all children have a bright start in life and a place to learn and grow. The Early Reach Program, a $26 million investment in increasing access and capacity for high-quality child care programs for children ages not 0 to 4, how about 1 day to 4? The county is also investing $8.3 million in after-school programs and summer enrichment programs to provide youth of all ages the care and support that they need. Digital access and literacy. We're working to bridge the digital divide by ensuring families have access to the internet and computers by investing $21.9 million in hotspots and in Chromebooks. Having access to the internet, computers, digital resources, and training helps families pursue opportunities for work and education, access to vital services, and stay connected. These are just a few of the policies and programs and initiatives that Harris County is working to create a more prosperous and thriving community. Overall, these investments amount to at least, we were tallying this up and my staff didn't have the numbers in it. And I made the comment, I didn't want just the flowery words. Usually people want to let you see the money. So we're investing at least $456 million. That's nearly $500 million in the programs that we're discussing today. While it may take time, we're dedicated to making a positive difference in the lives of families across Harris County. Unfortunately, while we endeavor to make progress, our state leadership seems intent on suppressing innovative and research-based solutions that cater to the needs of our constituents. Specifically, I'm making reference to the passage of House Bill 2127, colloquially known as the Death Star Bill. That bill threatens to limit what local governments can do with the power we have to address the needs of our residents where our state leadership has fallen short. But despite that, nevertheless, in spite of it, we remain steadfast in our commitment to prioritize the well-being of our community. And in every area where we can find the resources and come up with creative, solution-based programs, we're going to do them through Harris County. Harris Prospers isn't just a set of investments. It is a promise from the people who lead this county, including my colleagues here, who's here today, Commissioner Briones, Commissioner Garcia, County Judge Lena Hidalgo, Commissioner Ramsey. On some of these programs, he has voted for them. You can ask him which one he supports and which ones he doesn't. But we appreciate everyone that he does support, and we'll keep working on him, on some that he doesn't support, and hopefully bring him around. Harris County is a place where everyone should have a stable foundation and a clear path to prosperity. Everyone deserves a roof over their head, an income floor, access to good jobs with living wages, and assurance that their basic needs will be met. Thank you, and with that, I want to bring up Commissioner Briones. Give her a warm round of applause.
Well, first, let's give another round of applause to our Commissioner Rodney Ellis. For decades, I have so much respect for him because for decades he's been on the front line of the fight, on the front line of the changes that continue to push our community forward. So City Council, Senate, Commissioner, he's a fighter, always has been, always will be, and you're an inspiration, so thank you. And thank you to all the Precinct 1 team members. I see so many of them. Thank you. I know that you two are just all in all the time, and it's an honor to work alongside you, so thank you. And to all of, and there's some Precinct 4 team members too, so all love, but that's what's special about Harris County. There's so much momentum going on, and I'm so happy that we're here with key partners in the county, such as the best public health director in the state of Texas in the US, Barbie Robinson. Dr. Estrada from our Community Services Department, thank you. The leadership of our county judge and her team, Judge Hidalgo, we're praying for the best, thank you. And my adopted madrina, or my adopted godmother, Linda Morales, talk about another fighter, here representing the AFL-CIO. Talk about on the front lines fighting for the rights of workers. So we're here today to announce our work with Harris Prospers. And when I think of Harris Prospers, it always takes me back to being a little girl who grew up on the border, literally on the border of the US and Mexico, where I was on the gateway of the American dream, right? And so many of our family members came to this country because they believed that they could have a better life here in the pursuit of this ideal that we call the American dream. Now, we all know that so many families, the American dream has failed them. And for some in this room, for example, the American dream has worked, and some it's everywhere in between. We have a lot of work to do at the state and national level, and we will keep fighting. But what I'm proud of is the progress we're making here in Harris County, the Harris County dream, the Harris County Prospers, that we, for example, recently invested $9.1 million, the largest investment ever in an apprenticeship program, in partnership with the AFL-CIO. And what this means is that this is the largest investment, doubling the apprenticeship spots in this county so that people can earn a good wage while they learn and while they get on a pathway. I used to be an 8th and 10th grade teacher, and our school had about a 50% dropout rate. And what my kids and what so many of our kids and grandkids need, they need to see that pathway to success. They need to know that people in our Black and brown communities and in all communities will have a fair shot so that they can have a good job, good health care, good education, and continuing to advance every generation so that there's more. And we see constantly at the state and federal level, and sometimes at the county level, us going back. And I don't know about you, but we're not going back. So whether that's investing in the apprenticeship program, whether that's because of the leadership of Commissioner Ellis starting the Minority and Women-Owned Business program here in Harris County, we have a lot of work to do, but it's amazing to see that just in a couple of years, what percentage of the contracts and money of the county are now going to minority and women-owned businesses. And I'm very proud, and thank you for doing this for our county. It started in 2020 with the disparity study. Back then in 2020, they found that even though us, women and minority-owned businesses, were about 30% of the talent, we were only getting less than 10% of the contracts. Well, fast forward, now the latest data we have is that women and minority-owned businesses are getting about 26%. And thank you for Commissioner Ellis and Judge Hidalgo, Commissioner Garcia for their leadership, and we're going to continue those gains. 26% versus less than 10. We're moving in the right direction, and we all know there's still more work to be done. So with the fight of pure justice, with the fight of our labor unions, with the fight of our schools and places of worship, I believe that when we unite, we can all rise together. And we are thrilled that whether it's the MWBE program, whether it's investing in apprenticeships, whether it's investing in early childhood education so that we know as parents, how can you get back to work when you can't afford childcare? So we're looking at it from multi-dimensions and different angles so that together we can keep rising. For those folks you may know who want to upskill, who might be unemployed or underemployed, we just invested in I keep going to the number 9, let me double check, $9.7 million for Hire Up Harris. So $9.7 million. And Hire Up Harris is this workforce development program. Our two key partners will be the Wellesley Community Center and Volunteers of America. So if you know of folks who want to get greater skills, want to upskill, this investment is for them because we want people to get to work, stay at work, and continue rising. Housing. We have invested tens of millions of dollars in terms of legal aid relief, eviction relief, investing in affordable housing, and we're looking at additional opportunities. We have this federal money, and I want to thank President Biden and Vice President Harris because they sent us this money to invest in Harris County. And we have till 2026, and rest assured, Commissioner Ellis and our team and court, we're not going to send $1 back, because we're going to keep investing here in Harris County so that all of our families can continue rising. So I'll end with this. Every day when I wake up, I think of my 3 little girls. I think of my 8th and 10th grade students. I think of my family who generations ago crossed this border because they believed in the American dream. And it angers me every day that it's not working for most people. And we're going to change that. And here in Harris County, with the leadership that we have with Judge Hidalgo, Commissioner Ellis, Commissioner Garcia, and Commissioner Ramsey, we are moving forward. But we need your partnership. We need your advice. We have these boards in the county. We have these community centers that we need the energy and passion in this room, because we're making progress, but there's more work to be done. So when we talk about Harris Prospers, let's prosper together, let's rise together, let's empower each other together. So thank you, Commissioner Ellis, very much.
And I know, look, give her.
And one thing I will leave, because I am going to run to the budget meeting, because I'm sure they'll roll their eyes at me too. For the first time ever, we are doing open public budget hearings for the public around the county, because this is your taxpayer dollars and we need your ideas and we need you to hold us accountable. So
thank you. Give a warm round of applause. And I know what that traffic is like, so we appreciate you, Commissioner. Look, I want to say how much I appreciate Commissioner Briones' staff and my staff. All of our staff, got the judges' staff, Commissioner Garcia's staff. We know the 4 of us were aligned on all these programs, so our staff, I don't think I'm enough. This was their idea. They came up with the name for it. Give them a warm round of applause. Now, I want you to remember, we'll have our rollout. It's Harris Prospers. You wouldn't just say Prospers, it did not mean anything. So this is what it means. You get to PROS. PERS, it means pathways to realize opportunity, security, potential, equity, resilience, and safety. But there's no way I could remember all those words. But when you say Harris Prospers, it's prosperous with the paper. With the, you get the whole word. Look, Commissioner Briones was right. You ought to ask us an appropriate question: where does the money come from? Not all of it. The bulk of this money comes from the Biden-Harris administration. And it makes the point there are consequences to elections. We could have done like many governmental entities around the country have done. Just take this money and fill holes in our budget, and then try to figure out what to do once the money is gone. So we did, for the most part, a few exceptions, we had to do a few things, but we didn't go take this money and pay for ongoing expenses that we already have, because then you'd have to lay all those people off or figure out what to do. We did not. Now, we were blessed because the county was in a financial position where we didn't have to do that. The state was in a financial position where it didn't have to do it, but they did it anyway. That's what they did with the money. But these creative programs that we've come up with, research-based, we pulled together a working group of all of our offices. We went through a process on how we would spend this money, and equity was a big part of it. The next speaker that I want to bring up, I'm just so proud of her. Dr. Jo Estrada does a fantastic job, and I'm just so glad that you were willing to join us and fight this traffic in 110-degree weather to come out of. Please give her a warm round of applause.
Thank you, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here and to be working with our commissioners and our judge. Thank you, Commissioner Ellis and Briones, for inviting me. But we are very lucky to work with a commissioner's court who is committed to creating safe, inclusive, equitable, and sustainable communities where everyone thrives. And, I'm very proud to be a part of that as a first-generation Latina college graduate, and now to see my grandchildren here in Harris County being able to live in this community. I'm here to give a few updates on my department and what we do. We have several programs, and you have to excuse me because I'm fighting with my glasses. I can't see with them and I can't see without them, so you might see me taking them off and on, off and on. But we have a down payment assistance program that provides home buyers with up to $28,800 for down payment assistance and closing costs in the form of a forgivable second lien. So these funds can be used to help purchase a new or existing home in Harris County. Single family new construction program that we have provides individuals and families an opportunity to purchase affordable new homes in growing developments throughout Harris County. Plans are underway to purchase up to 200 new homes by the end of 2023 that will be made available to program-eligible home buyers. And these homes are located in desirable areas including Katy, Tomball, Humboldt, Lake Houston, and Pasadena. So we're super happy about those programs. As the commissioners stated, we are committed with the ARPA funding to provide resources for the community that's going to help them thrive. We have invested in the Community COVID Housing Program, short is CHIP, which was created to provide intensive support to residents experiencing homelessness during the pandemic. And as mentioned, legal aid investments to support tenants and encourage improved landlord practices. And we've also invested in multifamily sites, and I'm going to highlight a few of those. The Hayes Center, 50 units of housing for young adults aging out of foster care with on-site support services. And you know, that on-site support services really makes the difference when you're learning, right? Learning how to be an adult, learning how, you know, to work and to budget and all of those things. So very, very important. Kingsland Park is a 198 unit affordable living community for seniors 55 plus. I could live there. And that's located in Katy, and which is one of the fastest growing areas in Harris County. And it has 99-year affordability period in conjunction with ARPA funding and Community Land Trust funding. So that's how we built that. And then we have the Knowles Rowland House, which is 31 units of affordable housing in Midtown. And that's aimed at providing permanent supportive housing for individuals who have experienced homelessness. Project development is made possible by Treasury ARPA, multifamily acquisition, and rehabilitation funds. You can see all of the highlights for ARPA funding on the website. It's harriscountyarpa.org. But also, we are in the process of having our 5-year consolidated planning, and we want to invite the community. Your voice needs to be heard. Let us know what you would like to see in your community, what your community needs are. So far, we have 2 more scheduled. We have 2 more scheduled. One of them will be in Precinct 1 at the Tom Bass Community Center on August 24th. And the other one will be in Precinct 2 at the Martin, I'm going to mess up this name, Flukinger Community Center, and that is August 17th, and they're from 4:30 to 7:30. And you know, a lot of our community leaders and advocates will be there to talk to you one-on-one about what you think that your community needs, because we want to provide what you need. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Strada's with our Community Services Department. When my staff give me these acronyms, I look at that CSD. You write about as bad as I do. I didn't know if that was a ESD. I didn't know what that was. But that's Community Services Department. The next speaker is a great leader with organized labor and has been there for many years. She does a great job. I got to know her up close and personal in my previous job when I was at the State Senate. But would you please welcome Linda Morales, Gulf Coast Area Labor Federation.
Good afternoon, Linda Morales with the Gulf Coast Area Labor Federation. It's my distinct honor to be here today alongside Commissioners Ellis and Commissioner Briones. Also want to say prayers to Judge Hidalgo because I know her energy is here. And to our other community county leaders here, and to you all for supporting Houston Prospers Initiative. I also want to say that our executive director, Hani Khalil, would have loved to be here, but he's taken some much needed vacation time, so I am filling in his place. For those of you that are not familiar with the Gulf Coast Area Labor Federation, we unite the power of 95 unions across a 13-area county. The unions that compose our labor council represent workers in the public sector, manufacturing, building and construction trades, the transportation of people and goods, and the hospitality and other service industries. Thank you, thank you. Harris County, through the leadership of Commissioner Ellis, has given our federation the opportunity to invest in $9.1 million of the American Rescue Plan to enhance apprenticeship programs and to increase the labor workforce. The program is called the Apprenticeship Advantage Program, and it constitutes a paramount avenue for community members to embark upon one of 10 distinguished union apprenticeship programs spanning to 3 to 5 years. These apprenticeship programs encompass various fields, including building and construction trades, such as elevator constructors, trade show workers, plumbers, electricians, insulators, entertainment, and transportation industries. Next lifetime, I'm coming back as one of those. Notably, these apprentices are afforded the opportunity to engage in a pre-apprenticeship readiness program. So aside from the apprenticeship programs that we also have that pre-apprenticeship readiness program. It's a preparatory program that equips community members with the indispensable skills for a successful and comprehensive apprenticeship journey. You know, the Department of Labor's apprenticeship programs are a pathway provided for workers to secure high-paying union positions upon completion of their training. Additionally, the Apprenticeship Advantage programs aims to target underrepresented populations to participate in apprenticeship programs such as women and people of color. The Department of Labor union apprenticeships epitomize a tried and tested route to prosperity. Participants, as was mentioned earlier, simultaneously earn while they learn. And in that, it includes a pension and it includes health care. Securing wages, very important. Securing wages that surpass the industry standards while honing essential knowledge in the classroom and practical work sites. Unlike conventional higher education, these apprenticeships do not impose financial burden on participants. Instead, they forge a path to cultivating a high-skilled and remarkably productive workforce indispensable for fostering our collective prosperity. So together, let's foster job creation and opportunities for the working class while upholding labor and safety standards. Again, a huge thank you to Commissioner Ellis. He's the brainchild of all this. And as a commissioner, yes. As Commissioner Briones said, you know, I personally have known Commissioner Ellis since my days back in working in the Senate as a staffer there, as a city councilman, now as a commissioner. He continues to help working class people, and we certainly appreciate you for that. Thank you and God bless. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Linda, thank you. I want to stress how important the team is. And our staff people do such a good job. When I came to county government, I was by myself, and the first thing I did was pull together a policy team. But most of the policies we came up with weren't going anywhere. I couldn't even get a second. But we had a lot of bright ideas, and then, you know, thanks to the voters of Harris County, Judge Hidalgo and Commissioner Garcia joined. the court. And then all of a sudden, all those things, those bright ideas that my team came up with, and we were calling press conferences, same thing I used to do in the Senate. If I didn't have the votes, I just beat them down so much at some point they'd pass something. And we kind of met when we could legally before they took the oath and divvied up everything we were talking about, you know, with increasing, making it a livable wage for county employees. Oh, we had a million ideas. And then Commissioner Briones came and made it a lot easier because he had that fourth person there, which is important for budgetary reasons. And sometimes the three of us might disagree. You know, now I always thought I was the one that was right, but maybe it was the judge who was right, Commissioner Garcia, but it is nice to have a fourth one there in case one of them doesn't get it. I can have another vote to bank on. But it is important with our team. And our staffs work together so well. So really it was their idea. They said, look, with all of this creative stuff you're doing, you got to brand this somehow. And that's why it was important to have this event today. The last speaker is our health director. And let me tell you what's so amazing about her to me. Doctors do a lot to help you get well. Doctors not always the best managers, and they're not necessarily the most innovative people. And so when the decision was being made to bring Dr. Barbie Robinson in, hers is not an MD, it's a JD. And I had to point out, I can say it's an executive session, she's a doctor, I'm a doctor too. I'm a doctor of jurisprudence. She has a law degree and a master's degree as well. She came to us out of California by way of a southern town, Arkansas, by way of Arkansas, but a lot of innovative, cutting-edge things come out of California. They're just on the leading curve of so many issues. She picked up a lot while she was in Washington, D.C. That law school that she was at is one of the best in the country for understanding how policy intersects with the law. Would you please welcome our Health Director, Barbie Robinson.
Hello, everyone. I'm Barbie Robinson. I'm the Executive Director of Harris County Public Health, and I've been with the county for 2 years and trying to adjust to 110 weather and then dropping down to 60 degrees when you come inside. That is not optimal health, but I'm learning to work with it. Thank you, Commissioner Ellis, for the opportunity to speak with you all today about the programs that Harris County Public Health is implementing to address poverty and uplift individuals within our community so that they have a fighting chance to get out of our social safety net. We often talk about health being our wealth. Which is so important and so true, but there's so many factors that go into determining whether or not we will have optimal health and well-being. And economic opportunity is a critical linchpin for us in terms of people having an opportunity to really rise up out of poverty and move forward. So the Harris Prospers Initiative, we are excited, for this to come forward because it's going to help improve the health outcomes and well-being for residents here in Harris County. And so I want to talk about one program that Harris County Public Health is implementing, and that's our Uplift Harris, which is a new guaranteed income program that will help families address basic needs and will be available to our residents in the fall. And the primary goal of Uplift Harris is to reduce poverty, promote economic stability, while providing equitable access to resources. Uplift Harris increases the likelihood that individuals get out of our safety net. A lot of times government focuses on opportunity to provide you services, but we know for vulnerable populations and underserved populations, we don't want to just get the services to help support us. We also want to have an opportunity to get out of the safety net, to advance our well-being for ourselves and our families. And so we're excited for Uplift Harris County because we know that this evidence-based program really provides an opportunity for us to help individuals change the life trajectory for themselves and for generations to come. And so qualified families under the Guaranteed Income Program will be given $500 per month for 18 consecutive months. This program's small infusion of cash can be the difference between stability and falling into deeper poverty for a number of families here in Harris County. So we're focusing this pilot program on 300 families who will benefit from this guaranteed income, no strings attached. 200 of the families will be coming from zip codes where we know that there's a legacy and a history of poverty and being underserved. And then 100 families will be selected from our Access Harris County initiative. And so that initiative is really important because that initiative focuses on the most vulnerable individuals in our county. We know that there are populations of underserved individuals and individuals living in poverty who have shared needs across our social safety net systems, but yet are often faced with the challenge of running around town, trying to tell their story over and over and over again to the various departments in which they're seeking services, and oftentimes that is a barrier unto itself. So Access Harris County provides us an opportunity to not have individuals running around, but for the county to wrap around, for us to bring the services to those individuals across the multitude of systems to help support them get the services they need in a coordinated, holistic way. And so we're excited for Harris Prospers and Access Harris County and our Guaranteed Income Program to come online so that we can begin to shift the legacy of poverty here in Harris County. Thank you.
So a couple of comments and I'll go to questions. Now staff, if there's anything you want me to say, I didn't say, you figure out how to say it briefly and you can come up here and say it. They do such a good job, but you know, and I tell them all the time, I remember when I worked for Mickey Leland, we'd write these speeches and they were usually too long and he'd get mad and wouldn't follow it. And then he'd go off on a tangent on something and we would tell him the next day when he'd want to do a little post-op, what went right, what went wrong. And we said, why didn't you follow the speech? He said, because the speech wasn't worth much. That's why I didn't follow it. So staff, if I skipped anything, you can come up and do it. Look, I know the website has been launched, right, Derek? Derek, we launched the website for Harris Prospers. So it is live. There's so many programs we have done. There are others that are on the table. It'll make you dizzy. It's mind-boggling. It makes the case there are consequences to elections. I just want to stress that again. But for what President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris did, we would not have this money. I haven't run the numbers to see yet, Linda, but it might well rival what they have invested in human infrastructure and physical infrastructure, may well rival what LBJ did during the Great Society. It is an unprecedented investment on the part of the federal government. And we decided not to squander this money spending it on programs that we already have, that we've been paying for, to try to go build up a surplus. We put a lot of thought into this, and there are more programs coming. I was thinking when Commissioner Brown has made reference to the MWBE program, Barbie Robinson is on the board of Harris Health. We got them to do a disparity study. It showed that you could never guess the percentage of money that went to black-owned businesses from Harris Health. Just guess, what percentage would you say? It took a lot of effort to not even find a black contractor to wash the sheets, paint the buildings, exterminate the building. It took a lot of effort. But with people like Barbie on that board, it's changing. And then we took some of this federal money. Commissioner Garcia and I initially were going to take it out of our budgets with your money and our budgets, $100,000 apiece, to encourage other entities, school districts, community colleges to do a disparity study. None of them have minority women business enterprise program. None of them. They don't collect the data. Now they get an award because they go buy a banquet table. You buy a banquet table, at least you ought to get it as an award. In fact, I'll give you an award if you buy a table to one of my banquets, whether you've done anything or not. That's just kind of the way it works. This past week, 2 more school districts agreed to take the money from the county to do a disparity study because the courts require that. But if you take the money and you find there's a disparity, I know there's one, then you have to set up a program. Only one community college has agreed to do it, not the Houston Community College, Lone Star Community College. I think we paid about $300,000 or so for that disparity study. These programs make a difference. They matter to labor. You know, I joke about when I went to St. Jacinta High School for a semester, and they had me take a test that said, Rodney, the test shows you be good at bricklaying. And I said, you must mean owning the brick company, or something's wrong with the test. I thought they were trying to pigeonhole me, put me in a skilled trade because I'm black. I look back on my life now and I think, and I tell young kids all the time, if I'd majored in a real science instead of political science, I wouldn't have had to get 3 college degrees. And most people cannot afford, I couldn't afford that today. If I had learned bricklaying, I'd own that brick company. You know, so that's why it's important to have these programs so those kids who are learning bricklaying, you know, air conditioning repair, can get work from the county, from the school districts. They can build the same schools that they go in the classrooms to learn. So that is important. I'm going to take questions. I'm supposed, before I take questions, tell all attendees you can go next door to the resource fair in the other room, free food, a lot of resources, and a DJ. And let me tell you, it's 110 degrees. You're not going anywhere. There's no need to rush out of here. You go on in there, eat what's in there, and have a good time. Don't fight the traffic. Why would you get in that stress when it's 110 degrees? You crazy? So enjoy it. Are there any questions from the media? And y'all can catch me in the room, because you know when I give you this mic, if I give you this mic, it's going to be a keynote. I love you. Thank you for being here. All right.